Our first recipient is Jim Kern of Volunteer Services. Jim is a retired aerospace engineer and has been an outstanding volunteer with our program for almost 6 years. During this time, Jim has dedicated over 2,100 volunteer service hours to several areas. Now, not only does Jim lead our surgery waiting team of volunteers, he's also participated in the emergency room preparedness drills, and he has been a dedicated member of our community grants committee. A real problem solver, Jim saw two different patient needs. First, he created a computerized map of the entire surgery area to assist patients and visitors in navigating the hospital and connecting with their loved ones after surgery. This map has been so popular with the staff that they have requested the map for our orthopedic patients as a resource when coming in for joint replacement surgery. Second, Jim was a driving force in implementing our tracking board in the surgery waiting area because he knew this would provide the families with the most up-to-date status of their loved ones during the surgical process. He also found a need in the gift shop and created a step-by-step guide to assist with managing the register systems. It seems that no matter what needs to be done, Jim is always there to lend a helping hand.
It's very nice, much appreciated. And it's nice to see the comments by some of the people that contributed to that, because they're people I'm very fond of myself, and it's nice to hear that they think that way of me too.
We thank you, Jim, for the difference that you have made in so many lives. Our next recipient is Patty Cronin, Nutrition Services Retail Manager. A patient came in to the cafeteria at Mercy Gilbert and asked for breakfast. He had an armband on, so Patty asked his status to see if he could eat or if we could have breakfast sent to his room. Patty actually learned that the patient had been discharged and his armband had not been removed. So Patty thought about it and then provided a meal. The patient showed up the following day and asked to eat again, and after some conversation, explained to Patty that he was homeless. Patty put together a meal and some healthy snacks. Now at this point, she also brought the situation to the attention of leadership and asked what could be done. As the team talked with the patient, they learned to their surprise that he had been staying on the second floor waiting area. Patty felt that he was a really good person, and she was determined to assist him to get him back on his feet. A few weeks later, the patient came back to thank Patty. He had just received a job at Burger King, and he said, with the help from Patty, was all he needed to get back on his feet. The genuine concern for this young man was beautiful. The genuine care is given to all her employees and patients, visitors, and customers that she interacts with each and every day in the cafeteria at Mercy Gilbert Medical Center.
It had to take a lot for him to say, I'm hungry, and ask, can you feed me? And it's just part of our job, just to recognize when somebody needs help and to assist them and do what we can. If we can't, then find the help that they need.
So thank you, Patty.
We'd like to recognize Lois Shugar in Volunteer Services. Lois has been a volunteer with our Let Human Kindness Blossom service area, and she has recently started training to volunteer in the gift shop as well. As if that's not enough, she's also a seamstress and embroiderer and makes heart pillows, port support pillows, and even crochets baby graduation hats for infants who leave the intensive care for the regular nursery. There is one story, however, about her going above and beyond even after she had left her volunteer shift for the day. Lois was driving home and noticed there was a man on a bike near the hospital, and he looked to be in extreme distress. Without hesitation, Lois turned her car around, parked it, and got out to offer assistance. As it appeared he was having a seizure, Lois called 911 and waited with them until the ambulance arrived. The ambulance could not accommodate the bicycle, so Lois called her husband, and together they took the bike to the patient's mother's home. While there, they found out the mother had no way to get to her son. Off they drove, the mother to the hospital, and then even went as far as making sure she had a ride back home before finally leaving the hospital for the day.
When God throws something like that at me, when I see someone like that, I just know it's from Him. And I just know that He blessed me with the ability to try to help people like that.
A quick-witted and humble lady who goes above and beyond every day. We thank you, Lois.
Our next recipient is Chuck Murray, Material Supply Coordinator in Surgery. Now, coworkers describe Charles as an advocate, a resource, and a guy who knows a lot about where medical supplies might be found. If you go to him with a question, he will take some time to help anybody, anywhere, for any patient, nurse, doctor, or coworker. He deals with everyone with the utmost compassion and human kindness, never brushing them off or rerouting them to someone else. A specific example of his compassion and tenacity was when Puerto Rico was greatly impacted by Hurricane Maria, and many vendors of surgical supplies and life-saving solutions were devastated. This resulted in the inability to secure the consistent supply of their products. Chuck and his team worked tirelessly to place orders everywhere they could ensure that surgeries would not be canceled. This work went on for more than a year. Chuck is so resourceful and tenacious, he would swiftly identify alternate products and suppliers and share them with our Dignity Health personnel.
It's very cool to be recognized, although it's not something that you do to be recognized. I mean, it's just something that you do. You do good to people, you treat people nice, and that ripples out and comes back to you.
Thank you, Chuck, for all your daily contributions and the difference you make in all of our lives.
Next, we want to honor Lori Bell, a nurse in the intensive care unit. Lori has a special nomination from Alexis, a Dignity Health patient. Alexis is a type 1 diabetic and has been since 2010. Alexis said she has had multiple hospitalizations due to neglecting her health. On multiple occasions, Alexis was able to see Nurse Lori at St. Joseph's facility over the years. Alexis reports that Nurse Lori always stressed the importance of taking good care of her health. Alexis says about the encounters, quote, "At the time, I was 19 and constantly under severe complications related to diabetes. I was stubborn and selfish, but after many heart-to-heart conversations, she helped open my eyes and get through to me. I've never forgotten our conversations, how big her heart is, and the dedication, love, and support she gives to her patients," unquote. Lori never gave up and she got through to Alexis. This is also how the Mercy Gilbert team sees Lori, as tenacious yet compassionate. Alexis credits her with saving her life by getting her off the bad path of self-neglect. It was very fulfilling to see how well she is doing.
She was so excited to tell me that she hadn't been admitted into the ICU in 2 years, which was for her a huge deal. So she is taking control of her diabetes and living a healthier lifestyle and just really understands more. So it gives you chills, makes you a little teary-eyed.
Thank you, Lori, for going above and beyond in treating all patients and for creating positive changes and positive vibes for all who know you.
Our next recipient is Dr. Salvatore, Director of Stroke Programs. Now, Dr. Salvatore is beloved by patients and staff alike. He was nominated by the stroke team members who say he is a proactive, knowledgeable doctor. Quote, "His confidence is positive," his patient explained. "It's not arrogant. He's down to earth and simply amazing." Dr. Salvatore was described as having a slow confidence that gives you confidence. Most important of all, when Dr. Salvatore is done with a visit, the message his patients receive is this: "We've got this, and you're safe." A funny guy, Dr. Salvatore also uses his humor for healing and to be of great comfort to the families. He actively listens and knows the staff or patient as a person. This year, he even became a volunteer and used his talents as a featured speaker at the stroke camp. Dr. Salvatore was so enthralling, they had to stop him from speaking as people could have interacted with him all night. He didn't have to volunteer outside the hospital, as one attendee mentioned. He gave up his personal time to come make our camp meaningful and to help us heal. He is a wonderful doctor and person. It should also be noted that under the leadership and direction of Dr. Salvatore, our East Valley Stroke Program at our East Valley hospitals have earned the highest level of honors given by the American Heart and Stroke Association. Dr. Salvatore, however, said that giving of his time to these teams and stroke patients gives more to him in return. He truly enjoyed stroke camp this summer and bringing his kids along with him to the camp, because it meant so much that they got to really see not only what he does for a living, but also the tremendous difference he makes in people's lives. As his patient recently declared, whatever award this is, it should be more.
There's a lot of gratification because it's hard to be in an environment if you're the only person that cares. So, being integrated into the patient care with a team approach and really having them recognize me means more to me than anything else.
Thank you, Dr. Salvatore.
We would like to honor Terry Peterson, the stroke coordinator at Mercy Gilbert Medical Center, and Yulie Smith, stroke coordinator at Chandler Regional Medical Center. These two amazingly dynamic women exhibit passion and professionalism in all of their undertakings. They have shown tireless energy when it comes to meeting the needs of stroke survivors and their caregivers, both inside and outside of the hospital. The survivors nominated them, saying, quote, "We have been directly impacted by these two beautiful women through hospital stays, emergency room visits, stroke education, stroke camps, and stroke support programs. Some of us have had the unique privilege of their direct care and kindness in hospital settings as patients. In addition to their duties in the hospital and stroke programs, they are actively involved in fundraising to support our Dignity Health East Valley post-stroke programs. While a stroke is a life-changing event in the lives of families, we believe that Terry and Yulie are difference makers and a real blessing to our community and in our lives," unquote. Terry is so passionate, one survivor says she always goes above and beyond, even calling the insurance companies or rehab centers herself, whatever it takes. She always has this extrasensory perception for someone in need. Recently, when she was walking through the lobby, she spotted an older couple, and Terry identified the woman as a possible stroke survivor. They were struggling, so she asked if she could be of assistance. The man replied that he was trying to help her get to the restroom. So Terry volunteered, but true to her ESP, she stayed and spoke with the man. When it turned out the woman had locked herself in the stall and could not get back up from the seat, Terry, demonstrating her usual care and compassion, crawled under the stall and aided the man in coming into the restroom to care for his wife. Yulie also demonstrates this same above and beyond attitude, often with a larger-than-life personality. She is known as a born educator. She has elevated neuro expertise with the nursing team. She has encouraged many neurology nurses to obtain their certifications. Yulie also spends additional time educating and supporting our volunteers and our community. Yulie follows patients and family no matter where they go in the hospital. She starts in the ER with each patient. They know they are advocated for and safe throughout their entire stay. She cares for her patients holistically, assuring both her patient and their families are fully aware of their care and needs. When one of our stroke patients, Jimmy, was at Chandler with his wife, who was in for an infection, Yulie gave up her own time, gowned up, and went in to visit Joy and Jimmy, bringing them whatever they needed. The stroke survivors truly are her extended family.
You're not really thinking of any recognition when you do something for your patients, but to be recognized of what you do, it's such a, amazing feeling.
I am so honored to have been selected for this award.
Thank you, Yulie and Terry, for giving so much of yourselves to take care of stroke survivors and to make our acute care programs award-winning and our post-acute rehabilitation programs one of the very best in the nation.